Hi guys, welcome back to another video. If you're new here, welcome. I'm Rini and I share DIY home decor and craft videos here on my channel. So Valentine's Day is almost here and today I thought of sharing some DIY Valentine's Day card ideas with you. Before we dive in, please consider subscribing if you haven't already and click the bell icon to get notified every single time I post a new video on my channel. So let's get started. For making all the cards today, I'm going to use these 9 by 12 inches watercolor papers. I'm folding the paper in half while making sure the corners match. I cut out a piece of paper in heart shape and then I'm going to place it on the card. After positioning it in the center, I'm going to tear off a piece of tape, make a loop and attach the heart to the paper to hold it in place. Now I'm going to take the same masking tape and tape it horizontally starting from the top of the card. Then I'm taking another long piece and taping it right below the previous one, leaving no gap. We want to make sure it's nice and straight. In this way, I'm going to continue taping the entire surface of the card. Now I'm going to remove alternate pieces of tape to mask off the rest of the area. I'm mixing some white and red watercolor to make a light pink shade and painting the stripes. I wanted to go for a pastel shade of pink, this is why I added white. I continued painting the remaining sections. The paint is now dry and I'm taking some crimson red paint on the brush. Then I'm placing another brush under it and tapping the brush to flick the paint onto the paper. Once it is dry, I'm going to remove all the tape. This technique is going to give us clean stripes. Before removing the heart shape, I'm tracing it onto the paper with a pencil. Now I'm mixing up some white, red and blue to get a light purple shade and painting the remaining white stripes. I'm trying to fill in the stripes with the color as precisely as I can, trying not to let the color transfer to the adjacent stripes. It doesn't have to be very perfect. For painting the heart, I'm using crimson red watercolor. I thought a red heart would totally complement a pink and purple background. Now, using a small brush dipped into white acrylic paint, I'm writing the word love on the red heart. I'm making the lines a little more thick to make the handwriting stand out. To add some more detailing, I'm outlining the edges of the stripes with gold acrylic paint. Lastly, I'm going to outline the edges of the heart shape as well. This completes our first DIY Valentine's Day card. For the next card, I'm taking another piece of watercolor paper folded in half and I'm also reusing the heart cutout from the previous DIY. Just like the previous one, I'm placing it in the center and taping it down. Now I'm taking crimson paint on a round watercolor brush to paint roses. I'm going to start by painting 2 commas turned sideways. Then I'm applying a little bit of pressure and painting C curves slightly larger than the commas. As I proceed to add more layer of petals, I'm gradually increasing the sizes of the C curves. Also, I'm leaving a little bit of gap between the layers. I'm not going to take any extra paint on the brush, I'm just diluting the paint as I'm adding more layers. We want the center of the rose to have the highest concentration of paint. I'm going to paint a few more crimson roses. Then I'm using light red watercolor to paint another set of roses. While painting around the edges of the heart shape, I'm pressing down the shape to prevent paint from bleeding under the edges. Next, I'm going for an orange paint and it's totally fine if the edges of the flowers overlap a bit. We want to cover as much area as we can with roses. And lastly, I'm painting some yellow roses. Now I'm mixing up together white, green and black watercolor and painting small leaves to cover the remaining gaps. Then we're going to go ahead and remove the paper cutout. Now I'm taking a 0.8mm fine-tipped black pen and writing Happy Valentine's Day in the center of the heart. To do some faux calligraphy, I'm thickening the downstrokes of the letters and leaving the upstrokes as it is. Then I'm filling those in with a small brush dipped into black watercolor. You can also use the same pen to fill in the letters. Now that the paint is dry, I'm erasing the pencil markings. And this completes our second DIY Valentine's Day card. For the last card, I'm grabbing another piece of 9 by 12 inches watercolor paper and folding it in half. Now we're going to draw a heart-shaped box of chocolates. For that, I'm drawing a large heart first. Then I'm drawing the edges of the chocolate box. And then we're going to draw a variety of chocolates on it, including the chocolate liners. For the chocolate liner, I'm just drawing zigzag lines surrounding the chocolate. Now I'm using a fine-tipped marker pen and drawing over the outlines. I'm also thickening the outer edge of the heart a bit more. Then we're going to go ahead and draw over the remaining outlines. I'm adding a tiny amount of black to white watercolor and painting the surface of the chocolate box with this light gray shade. For painting the edges of the heart shape, I'm using crimson red watercolor. Now it's time to paint the chocolate, so I'm using dark brown paint and filling in the shape. I'm not painting the toppings on the chocolate. Then I thought of painting some caramel chocolates, so I mixed together yellow and brown watercolor for those. I'm also going for some light pink chocolates. And then I'm using red to paint some of the toppings. For painting the chocolate liners, I mixed together black and brown watercolor to get a dark brown shade. Now for the final touches, I'm taking a gold marker pen and drawing freehand lines along the edges of the card to give it a cute border. This completes our DIY heart-shaped chocolate box Valentine's Day card. That's all for today, and I really hope you liked the DIYs. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and let me know in the comments below which card was your favorite. If you plan to recreate any of these DIYs, I'd love to see them, so you can tag me on Instagram at DustyHues. Thanks for watching, I love you guys, and I'll see you in my next one.